Welcome back. I'm still from the Republican Overseas Organisation here in London, Jennifer Ewing. She's in the studio. Now, let's talk about Trump derangement syndrome. I think this is what this story is all about. Today, the Democrats, as it were, kind of released Jack Smith, his special counsel, who was commissioned to investigate Donald Trump in terms of the alleged insurrectional riot on January the 6th, 2020, the assault on Capitol Hill and all that, as part of a conspiracy to defraud the US, insurrect and subvert American democracy and all that. So they released his report today, and they're basically saying, well, if Trump didn't win the election, we'd have definitely had him behind bars, we'd have been convicted him. I mean, it's like, why are you saying this? Do you really think somehow it's going to undermine the inauguration next week? Because it's not. And secondly, stop humiliating yourselves. This is what you did throughout the election campaign, throughout the 2 years leading up to the election. You thought that by trash-talking Donald Trump and lawfaring him, you would somehow destroy his chances of becoming the president, the next president. How did that go for you? I mean, it's ridiculous. Give it up.
Yeah, but I think they're so far, you know, beholden to this, they don't know how to stop. I mean, the only reason they went after him to begin with is because he announced he was running for president again back in, you know, November 2022, and then all the indictments.
And they basically went, we'll show him.
We'll show him. And then they realized, you know what? This is a good idea. The more we go after him, the more his base gets excited. But so we'll let him be the GOP nominee. Yeah. But there's no way he can win a general. So their plan won. He became the GOP nominee. There are a lot of people, including on Republicans,
who thought, great, we got him.
Uh-oh, maybe he can't win. But there he goes, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, he's winning. Because the more and more they did this,
but he's a convicted felon.
Well,
they don't care.
People did not think January 6th was important as they said it was. They did not think these hush money cases, which are basically, you know, putting something into an Excel spreadsheet were important. And, you know, some accusation, and I'm not belittling any assault on women, but some accusation in a Bergdorf Goodman, department store that may or may not have happened, 30 years ago. People did not think that was a good enough reason to stop it.
What they recognised, Jennifer, was that this was a concerted lawfare campaign by the Democrats to attack Trump on every level, to undermine him and make him implausible as a potential president. What the stupid idiots in the Democrat Party didn't calculate, didn't realise, is that with every new assault on Donald Trump, they made him more popular. And by the way, when he started getting nearly assassinated, that, I think, began to seal the deal. Even after that, even after he was so nearly killed, at that rally, the Democrats started saying, "Oh well, you know, he was never going to be killed. Never mind. Just put that to the back." Well, I think Americans all over the country took that very seriously, and it elevated Mr. Trump to hero level.
Absolutely, it was that people were insulted by this whole lawfare thing that you just mentioned. But number two, Trump was very, very consistent with regards to his policies, which were exactly what the United States people told him that they wanted, which is control inflation and the economy, and number two, control the crisis we have at the southern border. Over and over and over again, that's what the voters said they wanted, and that's what he ran on, and he won. So as many times as Kamala Harris or Joe Biden or any of these other talking heads tried to say, oh, we care about climate change, we care about trans issues, we care about, you know, democracy, and somebody's Hitler, it's like, no, we don't. We care about gas and groceries. And by the way, shut the border.
Yeah, indeed. Now, our friend Greg Swenson, the chairman of the Republican Overseas here, he always said it was going to be close, and I always said it's not going to be close.
Yeah, you always did say that.
I said Trump's going to walk it, and I was right.
You were right. I hope you guys bet something serious on that.
Well, we sort of bet a few drinks, and we had them. So Donald Trump responded by calling Jack Smith a lame-brained prosecutor prosecutor who was unable to get his case tried before the election. Let me tell you what I think was the key moment in that election campaign. Of course, the assassination attempt was very important, but one of the key moments, let me put it this way, it was when, during the TV debate, you know, his famous moment, which I loved, where he goes, "They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets of the people who live there." And that was referring to Springfield, Ohio, which had suddenly imposed on it about 30,000 Haitian migrants, who indeed actually were raiding the park and taking geese and ducks. Whether or not they were eating dogs or cats is another issue. Now, when he said that, Kamala Harris, typical Democrat, she went, "Oh, it's ridiculous. Oh, look at this fool. Look at what he's saying." And all across America, people are going, "They're eating the dogs? They're eating the cats? My God, I'm voting Trump."
Well,
she just didn't get it, did she?
Not only did she not get it, and let's say whether it happened, whether it didn't happen, I truly believe, and maybe I'll lose credibility, I believe it did happen in certain cases, right? I really do. But that aside, that song went viral, not only in the United States, all over every single nightclub, all over Asia, all over Europe. It went nuts. And all of a sudden, Trump had this cool factor. Then you had the McDonald's. Then you had the garbage truck. Then you had the, like, this is just a normal dude. And then people are like, and he's kind of funny, you know?
He lost
the mean-spiritedness that he had maybe during the first couple campaigns. So I think from there it was...
I think that you're right. You're right about that. And by the way, to go back to eating the dogs and the cats in Springfield, Ohio, you know, those allegations didn't come from nowhere. Now, I don't know whether or not it happened, but I do know this. The City Hall of Springfield denied. You know, they would, wouldn't they? You want to see, most cities, they're not going to go, yeah, we've got all these people that keep eating domestic pets. They would never do that. They denied that this was going on. And then the police department there, this quote, I quote, there have been no credible reports.
There you go, yes.
So what do they mean by credible? So what they actually mean is there were reports, but they decided they weren't credible. Let me tell you, eating the dogs and eating the cats, that was the key moment. That's when I think he won it and she lost it.
No, I think you're right. And let's say whether, again, they did, they didn't, it doesn't matter. Why wasn't somebody, especially the media, especially the politicians, going, wow, why is this happening? You know, wow, this town of Springfield, Ohio, does feel overrun. It's a very small town. It was overrun with over 30,000. Okay, fine, they had a program to come in legally, but like, let's look into this. Are the people, the citizens of our country, are not happy about something, so why don't we ask more questions rather than vilify them?
Well, Kamala Harris was indicative of all the sort of liberal elite who all went, oh, how ridiculous, look what he's saying now. And all the media, oh, we're not going to investigate that, that's ridiculous. If I was over there, I'd have gone straight there. And I'd have stood up the fact that dogs and cats were being eaten. At least I would have tried, but the media didn't. And that's the point about Trump. You know, whether or not dogs were being eaten or cats were being eaten, he knew. He was clever. He knew that that would strike a chord with the American people, and that cackling idiot next to him did not know.
Well, do you know how many just elitist snobs said, I can't believe people in America are going to vote for Trump because of, like, the price of their eggs and the price of their gas? Like, how arrogant and how, you know, unempathetic is that?
And you will find that a lot of people do vote on those bases.
Yes, they do, and they did, and that's how he won.
Don't forget Kamala, she campaigned on the price of your groceries as well, but
with caps, with Marxist caps.
Yes, but I don't suppose we'll ever hear from her again. Let's hope not. Anyway, one last question, Jennifer. I mean, it's the inauguration next week. I mean, first of all, tell me what you expect from the first year of Trump's presidency. I mean, I can see he's really going to wage war on wokery, which is good. No more of these bizarre, mad diktats. You know, that bloke with a beard wearing a dress is a woman. No, it's not. It's a bloke in a beard wearing a dress. No more of that nonsense. That's one thing. That will be quite, not easy, but that will be a fairly easy thing to tackle. Do you think he's going to have trouble with these mass deportations that he's promised? Because I do.
So I do not, because there's enough low-hanging fruit, i.e. people that we know are already have been asked to report themselves because they've committed a crime. They're here illegally. They've overstayed. So they're going to start there, right? But what, to your point of, is it going to be difficult? Yes. On certain channels, on certain radios, are you going to see, oh my gosh, Trump broke into a house and stole somebody's abuela who has been, you know, working as a cleaning lady for the last 25 years and never broken the law? Yes, of course you're going to see stories like that. That's not what's going to happen. Tom Homan, who's the border czar, who has done the job for 6 different presidents. He's been a border sort of agent for this, so he gets the job. He's serious, and the most important thing, Kevin, that nobody talks about, we weren't allowed to talk about it during Trump and Harris, is there's over 300,000 migrant children who have gone missing into the United States. That is a big deal, and that is a tragedy, and so no, there's going to be support behind him to
and just in case anybody thinks that, you know, we're being far-right extremists here, I mean, thousands of people are dying trying to get across that border. It's officially under Joe Biden, 4 years under Joe Biden, 10 million people came across the border illegally, and potentially Donald Trump always maintained that the real figure was nearer 20 million. So they need to close that border for humanitarian reasons. And interesting what you say, Jennifer, and I think you're probably right, that there will be enough low-hanging migrant fruit for him, for Trump to at least give the impression that he's getting on with it. He's getting rid of them. As soon as you start seeing, say, 1,000 getting deported, that'll be a good look for him.
Well, and we know that Trump had a higher amount of Hispanic people vote for him than even George W. Bush. Why do you think that is?
A lot of people, black people.
They came here legally, right? They're multi-generation of, let's say, Mexican families who are small business owners, who are often Catholic, who are family people, who are law-abiding, and whose schools and neighborhoods are the ones that are getting harmed by this, the illegal immigration. So,
he had huge support from the Latino community and from the black community.
Absolutely.
Far more than Kamala Harris ever did. And you see, you will never appeal to people like that by saying, here's my plan. We're going to get taxpayers to fund trans prisoners who want to change gender while they're behind bars. That is the sort of thing that killed the Democrats. And if they don't learn that that claptrap will never succeed in the great country of America, then they're finished forever. And I hope they are. Jennifer, great to have you on board. Thank you so much. Jennifer Ewan from the Republican Overseas Organisation.